Troy Pryor for the email, and she said it was for youth and gun violence. And recently, Wildanda's house, 2 years ago, Hadia Pendleton had died, was killed, and they have a foundation called Hadia's Promise, and they had Amnesty International where they partner, and I was in charge of the art table there. And I created this piece called the Don't Shoot, and it has the tears, red, green, and black, crying, don't shoot, and then on the neck it says peace, justice, unity, love, more. And then from there, people just so gravitated to just a symbol. And I've had friends that died or killed because of gun violence. And I live in Roseland, the far, far south side, like Roseland, West Pullman area, where the gun violence is really heavy. And it's like last night I heard shots. So it's like, it happens every day. And as an artist, I feel like it's our job to be that staple, because when we're gone, we are the history. We let them know what was happening in those times. And I recently partnered with this young lady. We're starting a non-profit organization called Activism You. Basically, I'm the vice president of it, and it just talks about recognizing the benefits of humanity before there was criminal justice and background checks and things like that. So I'm really into social justice, women empowerment, and basically putting art on clothes.
I'm 16, so I'm not really exposed to like that much yet. I'm just starting off, as you know, I've just started off working as an artist and working with my art. Haven't really achieved much yet, but I live in Belmont Creek, and so there isn't really that much violence over there. So when I heard about this, it was kind of like new to me, because where I'm from, like, I hear a bunch of like people talking about violence and how they're always exposed to it and how like it's natural to them, but like to me it's something new. I never really was exposed to that kind of like neighborhood or such. And so what drew me into this organization was that I was still new. Like I didn't really know that much, and so that's what my painting is about. Like, you see, I got a symbol that reminded me of the city, and that's the shoes hanging like in the alleys and stuff. And you hear so much about what those mean, but no one really knows the true significance of it. And so that's how I feel about gun violence and like youth violence overall in general. That I'm not really I don't know that much of it, but you kind of know like it's there, and you don't really take notice of it until it happens to you. And yeah, so that's where I'm from. I don't really have that much experience, but this is my this is the first time me doing something like this, so I'm glad to be part of it.
And what she said is pretty true. Around there's no violence, barely any violence. You don't hear any shootings, and it's pretty safe over there. But this year I moved to Humboldt Park, so right now I live in Humboldt Park, and it was a major change. Where I live around my area, there's shootings. There's an occasional shootings. There's drive-by shootings, and this year at my siblings' school, they had to shut down the school due to there being shots around the area. So it's been to the point they had to shut down the schools. And so what brought me to my piece and to this organization was actually an assignment from my art teacher. And so she assigned it to the whole class, and she told us the requirements and what to think about. And she wanted us to think about how our neighborhood is, and how if there's anything beautiful about it. And the thing is, for me, is when it's hard for me to see anything beautiful from it, and it's because the shootings, it's really negative there, and it really affects people. And so in my piece, what I wanted to do was that pretty much reflect what's going on with the news and what's going on. I wanted to represent that anybody could be a victim to gun violence. So it's not just one race or one specific gender, it can be anybody. And so that's what really brought me in with wanting to create this piece.
Their attention, and also pull them in. So you want to create a type of art that has kind of a public appeal, which some people would consider, if you want to talk about art purists, they would say, oh, well, that's not art, right? It's more moving into like an advertising type of realm. And so what I was looking for is art that was accessible to non-artists, but at the same time, I like Chantala's fine art, the way that he mixes these two things, because it creates a depth to the piece, right? Because we want to pull folks in, but we also want to give them something in return, right? Because this is not an advertising campaign. And a lot of people that I've talked to who are not trying to be fine art artists, there's a deep belief, and even fine art artists, to be honest, there's a deep belief that, what is the point of our art in the world, right? Like, what is it accomplishing? And it's really nice to do beautiful art and to talk about it amongst people who have studied art, and there's an importance and a beauty to that. But in terms of this project and anyone who's involved, and I get the sense from all of you that you see art as having a function outside of a gallery, right? That gallery art is one thing, but then there's a space for art that can really make a difference in the world. And so that's what this project is all about, and why Chantala, to me, was the right person to be the lead artist. And he also, again, I'll say, in terms of having the fine art background, he also has something to teach, in terms of getting new techniques and thinking about how you're crafting your pieces.
Me and my mom moved around a lot, and there was a lot of instability, and I feel like one of the real times that I feel like I opened up my soul instead of living in a state of, survival. Not that things were wonderful, and I had a beautiful childhood, but I didn't have a space where I felt I could be, a young girl based on the situation that I was living in. And so my grandmother, I just saw her drawing one day, and it turns out she used to do my mom and her siblings like art assignments. So if they had an art assignment, my grandma would draw all of them. And then another one of my aunts was really talented, and it was just something that I was just like, I was interested because it was something a way that I could explore in a world, in a place where I felt very captive. I felt very stagnant. And then in 4th grade, we had art, and I was terrible at it, and that really made me angry. And I was just like, I think this is something that I'm passionate about. And I just kept going for it, and one art always leads to the other. So it was drawing, and then it was theater, and music, especially, because in my family, even though things were not perfect, I could listen and watch anything I want. So music and movies and visual information was something that I just ate. And I feel like that, but drawing is a way that I could make my own visual identity. And that's where it started.
Start by having each of the artists introduce themselves and their pieces of artwork, and talk about the launch that we just did in Chicago for this work. So, starting with Rael.
Knowledge, wisdom, peace, and love, everybody. My name is B. Rael Ali, and I am a painter, poet, dancer from Chicago, Illinois, a part of the National Youth Art Movement. Thank you all for coming. This is my piece right here, Guns N' Roses. It's specifically about a mother and her children and the effect of gun violence on just families in general in Chicago. So when I created this piece, I was thinking about just all of the issues, all of the pain, all of the emotion that goes into when someone is harmed by gun violence, and all the effects of, just the surrounding people. So, that's Guns N' Roses.
Beautiful. Hi, Alice Gomez. I'm from originally Texas and now Chicago. My piece is called The Family, also known as All Power to the People. It's meant to be a beacon of hope and of truth.
Hi, my name is Millie. I'm from Chicago, and my piece is Hanging by the Noose. It's basically meant to represent the awareness of gun violence and how some people, like me, at first, I had no idea that this was a huge issue going on. And now that I'm part of this organization, I realize that it's more serious than it actually is, and that there's people like me who don't know about the issue, and so there's nothing done for it.
Hello everybody, I'm Leah McQueen. I am a painter and fashion designer from Chicago. The name of my piece is called Hands Up. It talks about the prison pipeline and pattern from the school system to the prison system.
Hi, my name is Dario Velasquez, and this is my piece. And I'm an artist from Chicago, and this piece is You or Me America. And this piece is supposed to represent how politicians don't create strong enough gun laws, which backfires because innocent people are getting hurt every day.
I'm not getting it. I think that should be one more time.
All right. So tell me, what do you want people to receive from your working present here?
I hope that people can see that like there is, some kind of good and beauty in such a cause like this, and people can see that not everything's so bad, and that we can make a change. There can be a difference.
Come to moderate our conversation today. Let's give her a hand. Shantala Kamanavan is our lead artist and did a wonderful job kind of getting the show together and curating it and making it what it is today. And he will be asking some of the artsy questions around the topic and how this working together. So let's give him a hand as well. Oh, Dave, did you have to run?
I do have about 10 minutes, but.
Okay. So, Shantala, do you have a question for Dan? We can start with him.
Before we go, yeah. How did you, when you were drawing up the idea of animating the pictures, what elements did you take from the design to activate the paintings?
Well, so Janice came to me, or niece, sorry, Janice. He came to me with some raw ideas initially, and just through some conversations, we went through a couple drafts, but honestly, I felt like the art spoke for itself. And, the small contribution I was able to make with my animations, I hope they make an impact. There's something different about seeing a still image, also seeing something in motion. And so, with the whole idea of this being a call to action for people, I hope with kind of, the idea of having the motion and animation, it'll move people to actually take action and volunteer and take that step forward and to help them.
Yeah, well, there is an element when you see a two-dimensional painting like Millie's nooses. I think having them animated and having them swing does give a viewer some sort of emotional connection that can be vivid or even something that sparks some sort of memory.
Are you the one who did?
Your explanation of the piece, it's just become more real for me, honestly. I try not to get too emotional. I'm terrible in front of cameras. So I see the numbers and statistics, you hear all the gun violence in the city, but with your pieces and your explanations and just being involved with this project, it's no longer statistics, it's more of a reality for me. And I hope the viewers and the people that actually go up to the artwork and see and just really listen to the message that you guys are trying to portray, I hope they can feel that too and kind of take that next step and try to be more involved and be a part of the community and listen and try to bring about change. But I do have to run, but thank you again.
Content strategy, also engagement strategy and things like that. The project came because it's sort of an overlap of our founder and his research. So he's in academia and with us focusing mainly on tourism, there are times where, because of our founder's background, civic good and civic justice, those things sort of overlap. So it was perfect that we were able to partner with NYAM in this project So this, I was in those initial meetings, but there was a team effort of like putting this together and making this vision come to life. With the animation and then also the implementation of augmented reality, which is a new technology for us as well. It's really cool that we're able to sort of like, this is one of the first projects we're able to do with augmented reality.
So personally, what did it mean to you to become a part of the National Youth Art Movement?
I'm from Chicago, lifelong, born here, raised here, Chicago Public Schools, all that good stuff. And it's one of those things where Chicago's in transition, and it's on there's a spectrum of Chicago in the sense of there are two very different Chicagos that people experience, and putting this in front of people who may not be affected by that gun violence or sort of by the other end of the spectrum that people don't like to talk about that aren't affected by it is something that I can appreciate because it sort of makes it accessible and necessary for them to sort of like interact with.